'Cause I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the desert's bare, man. I've breathed the mountain air, man. I've travelled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. Been to Tullamore, Seymour, Lismore, Malula, Barnham, Bournemouth, Katoomba, Liverpool, Wallabill, Katoomba, Crossbine, Alladala, Darwin, Gingin, Lillaquen, Muckdilla, Wallabilla, Bugabilla, Cumberilla, Ramakilla. I've been everywhere, man.
It's about exactly 10 minutes to 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning, so that means we're going somewhere regionally, and today we are heading off to the beautiful little town of Katoomba in the Blue Mountains, where we find Leon Very. G'day, Leon.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm very well. Really, really good today, thank you.
Isn't it nice to chat about stuff apart from work, you and I?
Oh, isn't it good?
Leon and I work together, you understand.
Oh, that's the connection. I see. Very good place to go to, though, because we're just talking to off air with Leon. One of the great joys for me about how good life is the day after there's been a lot of rain, the sun comes out, and there's a freshness to behold. And Leon, I imagine you're going to experience that today.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, the clouds just clearing away now. You can see the sun coming through. The blue skies are sort of east and north of us and heading our way. And it looks like today and the next few days are going to be cracking up here.
And Katoomba is obviously at the top of the Blue Mountains, so therefore a little bit distant from Sydney. Do the folk of Katoomba see themselves as living in Sydney or away from Sydney?
Definitely not part of Sydney. So we're about, if you do the train, it's about two and a bit hours. So it's a lot of stops down on the train because you've got to get down the mountain and then through Penrith and so on. By car, it's about an hour and 45 into the city. But definitely they see themselves as regional folk, and I like that. I consider myself part of that as well.
So how far from, if you jumped in your car, how far would you be from the centre of Sydney?
In kilometres, about 120 k's.
Yeah, so it's kind of Ballarat distance out of Melbourne for those who are playing along at home. So you probably hit Sydney when you get to the bottom of the mountain. Is that pretty much how it works?
Yeah, Sydney Metro. So sort of Sydney Metro is really Penrith, which is at the bottom of the mountain, correctly said. And then sort of spreads inland there now, and there's not much. There's not many farms onward from Penrith now. It's sort of all houses and people right through to Sydney now.
What do the folks in Katoomba do?
There's a lot of people working locally.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things to do in Katoomba. There's obviously the Blue Mountains. We've got the world listed heritage national park and all of the things that go with that. The cable car and the railway and all the bushwalking and things like that. There's a lot of people that do work in the city and do commute a couple of days a week in. And a lot of people work from home as well. And there's a lot of retirees there as well.
And tourism, I would assume, plays a pretty important part in the local community?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, every day, not just weekends. If I sort of compare it to Hunter Valley, if you like, in New South Wales, which is kind of a weekend jaunt for a lot of people from Sydney, the Blue Mountains just seems like it's got people coming every day, coachloads of people from overseas and locally, spending their good money in the local area and buying up things that you can't buy in Sydney. It's really good.
The tourism aspect is pretty important. After COVID, I think a lot of people saw Australia in a way they hadn't before, because many people just travelled internationally when they had a chance to have a bit of a holiday. Do you think Katoomba has been one of those little mysteries that more people have discovered, and because of it keep coming back, rather than saying, well, I've seen that once, I don't need to go back? It strikes me as a place you just like to go to often.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's interesting you say that around the COVID, because we found a lot of people move in there to live during the COVID period, because they could find out they could work from home, they could work from anywhere. So they said, well, let's go and live up in the mountains. Some people are still there because that's where they've settled and they really enjoy it. And a lot of people have said, now people are asking us to go back into work 5 days a week, and it's not really that convenient anymore, so they've got to move back to Sydney. But certainly the actual tourism aspect itself has kept itself alive. There aren't many places that have closed down during COVID like a lot of other places have. So cafes have stayed alive and are vibrant. The actual tourism itself is vibrant and always will be, because you've got this beautiful sort of landscape that's never going to change, and always good to look at. So yeah, we get a lot of people here. Busy on weekends as well, as you can imagine.
And if people were based in Katoomba for a holiday, let's say they come up for a week, yes, there's the Blue Mountains, you've seen a mountain, you've seen a tree, you've seen another tree, another mountain. I guess it's not that far to head out to other little places like Bathurst and Orange and places like that as well?
Yeah, absolutely right. So, we've got some great hotels to stay in, firstly. Katoomba, we've got the Carrington Hotel, which is a very old, sort of 1900 and 1890 probably hotel there.
Rob remembers it being opened.
Yes, that's right. And then you've got the just up the road from Katoomba, you've got Medlow Bath, and that's got the Hydro Majestic, which looks out right across the Megalong Valley and Jameson Valley there, right out west. And then I think we're about 70 k's from Bathurst. So on the Great Western Highway, you just keep going through Mount Victoria and Hartley and these little lovely villages that are great to stop at, and Blackheath, and you end up in Bathurst, and then you can go to Orange and places like that. So we're really not that far, and the road is very good now.
And of course, if you do want to go and see a show in Sydney or something like that, you jump on a train, you're there, and you're back. It's pretty well located, isn't it?
Well, I myself went Thursday in to see Tom Jones, and I know what you're going to say. It's not unusual.
Yeah, absolutely. You beat me to it. It's disappointing, actually.
I think we've been there before.
May well have been, yeah.
Hey, Leon, you've got an interesting twang in your voice that suggests to me you're probably used to the weather being cold and wet and miserable. So is that why you chose Katoomba?
Well, partly, yeah. I mean, I don't mind a bit of snow, which, we hopefully will get this year. I don't mind the cold weather. I've lived in Sydney itself for 23 years, so I'm used to a bit of hot and humid weather as well, which we've had bucket loads of over the last couple of years. But yeah, I'm originally from England, from the Midlands over there, sort of the working class sort of industrial heartland, as it was. And that's where I grew up, and I moved over here until I was 25, 26 years old when I moved over.
Is the Midlands sort of like Manchester?
It's just south of that. So the Midlands is Birmingham, sort of Nottingham, I suppose Coventry, the Black Country, Leicester. That's the sort of area. Manchester's about an hour north of that.
Okay, I was going to ask the obvious question. Are you a red team or a blue team?
Well, I support a team from London, so completely.
Leon, we need to get going. Great to chat to you in the context of living in Katoomba rather than talking about work. You and I will chat again on Monday or Tuesday, no doubt. But thanks for joining us on Regional Roundup.
Lovely to talking to you. Thanks for having me on your show.
Thanks, Leon.
Thanks,
best
mate.
wishes.
All the best. Leon Very there in Katoomba